why B stays on your neck?
Me and Salas were very close. We were very close to seal training camp with. Well, we got approached by Joshua.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but Salas felt that Joshua needed to come to the United States to train here, not for us to go to London.
Yes.
So I respected that, and you know, but
let's talk more about that.
I'm still honored about it, you know.
Yeah,
Joshua, I always think he's a good fighter.
Yeah.
You know, I love Ruiz as well. You know, I work with Ruiz through camps. Good kid. And just wanted to tell you that because
so tell me,
I didn't want to throw it on Twitter. I just wanted to tell you.
No, so basically what you're saying is Joshua, after his loss to Ruiz, kind of looking for a new trainer, new something different, and he reached out to you guys?
Yes, he reached out to Salas, and Salas reached out to me because he said I would work with you only if you get Angel here again with the conditioning part. And we worked before. We had a camp, me and Salas, with Joe Joyce, successful camp in Kazakhstan. So he loves how I do conditioning for the kids, and that was one of his conditions. The other condition was for Joshua to come into the United States, do camp in Vegas, not for us to go to London.
Why?
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. Wow, so we just heard there a clip from an SNC trainer who is closely associated with Ismail Salas. Now this don's name is Angel Heredia. He's an SNC coach, and you've just heard him. Bottom line is, he's alleging that AJ has approached Salas and asked for his services. Allegedly, Salas agreed, but it would be on the basis that training camp would take place in Las Vegas. And the reason this man says that it would take place in Vegas is because Ismail Salas has a fixed camp there now that he's training out of. He's got his own little club, so he doesn't want to leave it. Now, at first thought, it looks great, but I had some words ringing in my ears from yesterday. What do we know about yesterday? Yesterday, Joshua posted a video on his YouTube channel, and he said that, well, in response to the knockout rumours, he says that a lot of people like to clout chase. So when I heard this particular video, and this dude coming up saying, oh yeah, AJ wanted us to train him, but AJ wouldn't come to the US and all this business, it does kind of, alarm bells are going off in my head, especially because, at least publicly, they've been so strong, or AJ's been so strong with McCrackheads for me. Now maybe he has been going behind, and we have heard from Eddie Hearn saying they were talking about bringing more people in. So not necessarily a coach change. Maybe AJ was just looking to make an addition, which would make sense as to why they would require Salas in the UK, because obviously Rob McCrackhead's in the UK as well. However, one thing I do think is fishy is this. My debunking point. I'm 50-50 at this point. I'm not sure what's going on, because we do know AJ's team can be secretive, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that's still unknown. They're still trying to convince us that was just a bad performance. I'm sorry, man. No matter how many times AJ tells us he was perfectly fine in the ring, I'm sorry, man. I can't believe it. I really can't. Maybe I'm mentally ill. But from that performance, I've never seen a fighter be like... Show me an example of a fighter like that before. It's almost like Triple G coming out and just running backwards the whole fight. Even in the second Canelo fight, he moved back, but it was measured. He wasn't running around in fear for his life. AJ got in that ring and was in fear for his life, fighting a complete bum, a fat little dude who had no rep. AJ fought that fight as if he was fighting Mike Tyson. And even then, actually, if AJ, the real AJ, the AJ that fought Dylan White, for example, Dylan White knocked AJ down in the amateurs. Why didn't AJ go into that fight backing up and being scared? He got in that fight, stuck his tongue out and marched forward. So why would he, with a little fat dude with no rep, no previous experience, why would he go into that fight backing up? That's that. My point is, I'm 50-50. I don't know who to believe. Is Salas clout chasing? Is this SNC coach clout chasing? Or is AJ not telling the truth? Now, to be fair, we haven't actually heard AJ come out and deny these rumours yet, but why didn't he, in his last documentary that came out yesterday, why didn't he say, yeah, Rob McCracken's my head coach, but by the way, we've been looking to make an addition to the camp. He could have said that. He hasn't said that. So I'm not sure. I'm 50-50. But one piece of key debunking evidence, this right here is exclusive evidence from the YB's Logic Locker. Yeah? You don't get this nowhere. You can't go nowhere else on YouTube and get this kind of logic that I'm about to drop on you. This right here is debunking logic. So, for me, what edges me, I was 50-50, but now, based on this, I edge towards this being BS. I edge towards this being clout chasing by Salas and or this Harida guy. And the reason that is this. So, Salas is saying, oh yeah, the reason I didn't team up with AJ was because I didn't want to go to the UK and I demanded for him to come to the US because I've got a base here. Now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, let's call a spade here. You had no this is the same Salas. This is the same Salas that had no problem coming to the UK to train David Haye for literally a tenth of the money. Seriously, AJ got paid 30 million. This fight's going to be bigger in my opinion. However, he'll probably get a smaller split, so I don't know. Either way, he's going to make 30 million again all in, including UK revenues. He's going to make 30 million plus. So with that in mind, David Haye versus Bellend, he only made 5 million. So you're telling me, Salas, for the opportunity of a lifetime to earn 6 times more than David Haye paid you, you can't come to the UK, but you came to the UK for David Haye? Are you serious? That don't make no sense to me, I'm sorry. And when you think about the longevity of it as well, meaning David Haye only had 1 or 2 fights in him. Salas uprooted whatever he was doing and came to the UK for maybe 1 or 2 fights. Because David Haye was shot and falling apart. So you're telling me Salas turned down the chance of an opportunity not only to potentially work for AJ for 1 fight. If he'd have performed well in that fight, he would have probably signed Salas again. So you're telling me Salas turned down the opportunity to have potentially 5-10 fights and make tens of millions of dollars because he wanted AJ to come to him, as if he's some big shot, as if Salas is some big don. That don't make any sense to me, I'm sorry. Fair enough, if Salas was like if Salas was a guy who's always been in one particular place and never moves, I get that. Listen, you've been all over the place. You was training David Big Toe. So I find it hard to believe that you wouldn't, for much more money and much more upside, come to the UK for AJ. And the other thing is, you can see on your screen now a quote from the interview of this Harida guy, the S&C coach who allegedly works with Salas and who allegedly was contacted by AJ. The other thing that makes me skeptical, the other deep YB Logic exclusive, valuable, verified YB Logic coming in hot to YouTube, only on YouTube, yeah? Only on YouTube, is the fact that he says here, when asked, the interviewer says to him, what did Joshua's team think about you working with AJ? Or Salas and yourself coming in to work with AJ? And Harida, the S&C coach, says, promoter Eddie Hearn was very supportive. He thought it was a good idea. A lot of people thought he needed a change, not just the corner, but not just in the corner, but in his strength and conditioning. So the last part don't really matter, but for him to sit there and say, Harida, to sit there and say, oh yeah, Joshua's team thought it was a good idea, Eddie Hearn thought it was a good idea, he was very supportive. What? Because in the IFL TV interview, I think it's the latest interview with Eddie Hearn. It's only about 5 minutes long, or I think maybe 7 minutes long, or whatever. Either way, the last Eddie Hearn interview, he addresses this, and he says, oh, I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know anything about it, but I'm not in the training team, so I necessarily wouldn't have been advised by it. So I'm sitting there thinking, how'd you work that out? How is he very supportive? Someone's lying here. Either it's Harida or Eddie. And in my opinion, I'm going to back Eddie Hearn on this one. I'm sorry. Harida, it smells too fishy, and you'll notice, throughout this interview, Harida keeps blowing his trumpet. He says things like, oh yeah, AJ needs strength conditioning, and that they came to me knowing I was such a great conditioning coach. I'm thinking, he just seemed like he was blowing his horn a bit too much, if I'm honest with you. If you watch the full interview, it seems to me he keeps rating about his S&C, and he was like, oh yeah, AJ's team wanted to work with me without Salas just because they wanted me. I thought, no one knows who the fuck you are, brother. Not being funny. Which implies to me even more that this guy's a bit gassed off himself. He sounds like he's just trying to get a bit of clout. It sounds like he's got no clients and he's trying to like, oh yeah, I was linked with AJ. Oh yeah, I was about to train AJ. Come and work with me. That's what it feels like to me, if I'm honest. I was 50-50. Now I'm like 80-20. This guy's gassed. Especially when, conveniently, AJ said in his last video, there's a lot of people who are on a clout chase. I can't blame the man. This Harida guy, I've never heard of him from Adam. Yeah? He could be Adam Harida, for all I know. Yeah, serious. I don't know. No one knows him. So, let's get... The dude looks kind of broke still, like we all are, but still, he looks kind of... He's on hard times. He needs the clout. Let man eat. You know what I mean? No one's there. Let him eat for a bit. Don't be too peak, AJ. Don't come out... If I was AJ, yeah, I wouldn't come out and shut him down. My man needs to eat too. Let him get a little piece of food, man. Do you know what I mean? Let my man catch a bit of a break. Get a little piece of clout. Someone's there. Let him ride this wave of clout he's gonna get. Maybe he'll get a few clients. Oh yeah, this is the Don that was about to train AJ. Let me get on the bandwagon. This is his time to shine, man. Bottom line, the guy's gassed. Simple. Anyway, and this is another point making me skeptical of this whole AJ. Why would AJ home out Ishmael Salas? I'm pretty sure Ishmael Salas' only charge is Jorge Linares, and Linares is falling apart now. So, okay, Linares was alright. He was alright for a midget, but he ain't a heavyweight trainer. What heavyweight? I mean, to be fair, let me put a disclaimer on this. I gotta be honest, I don't really know trainers. I've always said this, to be fair. In my defense, I've always said, I don't really know what trainers are good and what trainers are bad. I think the only way you really know that is by looking at what they've done in the past and or seeing how they actually train. With that in mind, Ishmael Salas, Jorge Linares is the only guy that comes to mind in my head. So, he's a 135 or whatever. So what has he done at heavyweight? David Big Toe, he was crap in that fight, he's falling apart. Now that's not Salas' fault necessarily, but what else have you done? Trained Joe Joyce once to fight a bum. So I don't get it. I find it hard to believe that AJ would have headhunted Salas. From what? Based on what? Maybe AJ was putting out many different fish hooks, and that's the only one that's gone public yet. I don't know. But that could also be the case, to be fair. It could be that AJ's just spreading his wings and seeing what's about. Because we do know that Eddie Hearn has said that they are looking to bring someone in. So I don't know. Mate, would Salas really make this up? Would this Harida guy really make it up? I'm not sure. It wouldn't make much sense to them. Either way, I'm not sure, man. It's all a big mess, and this is the problem. To be fair, AJ does have one of the more open teams when you think about the amount of information Eddie Hearn gives out, but I like transparency, man. Transparency, yeah, transparency. Come out and just be honest. Say, if you've got questions about Rob McCracken, have questions about him. Say you want to bring someone else in. Why not? I don't get all this slyness all the time. Just be honest. Yeah? We all let's call a spade here. Let's get something straight. We all saw, if you're not embarrassed putting on that kind of a performance in front of everyone, I'd be more embarrassed about that than I would be telling everyone I'm changing my trainer or telling everyone I'm bringing in support. If anything, the public would love that. I would. I'd love to hear you've suddenly seen the wood from the trees and decided to bring in someone else who might actually put you in the ring with a bit of cardio. I'd love to hear that. That would be music to my ears. That would be music to my ears. And many other people's, by the way. No problems at all. 100%. Just get something straight, man. Let's be clear. Have a true relationship with the fans. You talk about being a man of the people and being humble and being whatever. Let's be that. Let's really become that. What happened on that night? I don't care what no one says. That weren't 100%. That weren't. I don't know what it is, but that weren't 100%. I'm sorry, it was not. It was not. It was not. It weren't. No way, man. And no one's explained why your dad was kicking off in the ring either. Suddenly swearing and whatnot. No one's explained that. All that business. But anyway. Let's now talk about, before I go, I want to discuss what trainers could AJ work with? And it's a difficult question, to be fair. As I said, I'm not some dude who knows about trainers. And really thinking about the question, it's a hard question to answer. Who is there? Some people have said Jonathan Banks. I'm thinking, I don't like that whole. Like I said, AJ is a particular fighter. He is a come forward fighter. He's not a Klitschko. Klitschko hasn't got the inside fighting ability. Klitschko's got a jab and a right hand, and a big leaping left hook. No, AKA it's no good. Yeah. AJ's a different fighter. He's a 1-2 stepper, 1-2 stepper left hook, not 1-2 and then step back like Klitschko, or jab grab. No, he's not that kind of fighter. He tried that in the Joseph Parker fight and nearly put people to sleep with that performance. Yeah, let's get it straight. 1-2 step left hook. That's the long and the short of it. And then when you're on the inside, throw the uppercuts, throw the hooks. That's the kind of fighter he is. So who really replicates that? I'll tell you who are great. So I'll be honest, I didn't think of this myself, but I'll tell you a great trainer for AJ. Do you know who it would be for me? Canelo Alvarez's trainer. Now I didn't think much of them, but I've got to be honest, that second Golovkin fight, they showed to me that they know what they're doing, man. Because bearing in mind, Canelo was going up a weight, and he was not only going up a weight, he was fighting the big scary dude. That first fight, I think he lost that first fight. However, that second fight showed to me his training team are worth their weight in gold. Because look at the performance. That first fight, he went in there tentative and whatnot. That second fight, he held his feet. Then first 7 rounds until he got tired, he held his feet and he triple G spotted, triple G spot. He backed triple G up. All of a sudden, everyone talking about, oh yeah, Triple G was jabbing. Wait, no, let's get something straight. Triple G was meant to be Terminator. Triple G was meant to be Mexican style, and he got busted up. So I respected Canelo for that, and he won that fight clearly. If anything, what let him down was his gas tank, which in a way, I guess you could argue, that's not a great sign for AJ, working with that team. But when you got to remember, Canelo and Golovkin, they were pretty high output in that fight. And it weren't even just output, it was the devastatingness of the punches. They were both loading up, which can really tire you out. But the bottom line is, Canelo, he's got enough head movement, which I think that's what AJ needs. AJ needs the Canelo kind of slickness. He's not massively light-footed. He's a bit heavy-footed. So is AJ. So that works well in that sense. They're both a bit heavy-footed, but Canelo's got that upper body movement. You don't need to be fleet-footed if you can move your head a bit and swivel and move around. That's what I think AJ needs to adopt. Having heavy feet's fine because that's what you're made for. Canelo's got heavy feet because he bangs. Fury's got light feet and people suck it off, but he ain't got no power. You've got to realise AJ's got to start working into his attributes. But that doesn't mean you don't need to move your head. And that's what Canelo does well. He moves his head and he counters. What's happened to AJ's counter-punching ability? He's gone out the window. And that don't surprise me because Carl Froch could never counter-punch. Carl Froch was as basic. Carl Froch was straight up and down workhorse. Yeah? An absolute British workhorse. The epitome of a British workhorse. And that's it. He had no head movement. He had no counter-punching. He had no high-level IQ attributes. AJ does, or did. They've now waned and disappeared into thin air now. Now he knocks someone down and just runs forward and puts his chin in the air and just starts throwing his arms. All the IQ's gone. Rob McCracken has sucked all the IQ that Tony Sims put in him, and it's gone in the air. Yeah? Let's get something straight. Rob McCracken is turning AJ into the heavyweight Carl Froch. And you got to remember, Carl Froch had a world-class chin and had a world-class engine. AJ don't have a world-class engine. Some people are saying he don't have a world-class chin. To be defined in November. We'll know what we're dealing with then. But the issue with the Canelo camp, I guess, would be the language barrier. And he's not likely going to go to Mexico. I think they train in LA anyway. But either way, I think that's, from all the people I can think of, that's the best one. Some people rant and rave about Adam Booth, but what's Adam Booth done? Everyone sucked Adam Booth off. What's he done? Got a draw. Got Josh Kelly a draw against some journeyman. Yeah? That's what he has done. You got Josh Kelly a draw against a journeyman. Everyone was blowing Josh Kelly off. Oh, Josh Kelly will box and slip and slide. Everyone's bent his head off. All this business. I've heard it all, I have, from Josh Kelly fans. He got in there and got beat up. Ran out of gas after 6 rounds and got beat up by a journeyman. That's what did happen. Let's talk facts. Adam Booth is massively overrated. What's he done? Nothing. He hasn't done anything. And my problem with Adam Booth is, here's another one. As I said in my other video, great trainers, they look at their fighters and they fit their attributes to their fighters. They don't make a one-size-fits-all. Whereas look at Adam Booth. Adam Booth, all of his fighters have their hands down and try and replicate a David Haye 2.0. It doesn't work for every fighter. And that's my criticism. And these trainings, great trainings, they fit fighters to their attributes, not the other way around. Not, okay, I'm a trainer who does this. That's no good. You got to be dynamic, and that's why I rate Canelo's trainings, because they adapt him for each fight. Now, they're not perfect, and Canelo's not perfect, but for AJ's skill sets and attributes, I think he needs to be more like Canelo, in my opinion. Slick upper body, can bang, good work rate for 7 rounds. Let's get 7 rounds out of AJ at least. Jesus. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is BS? Who would you want to see AJ work with? I'd be really intrigued to see some. Let me see some detailed coach or trainer examples. I've given Canelo Alvarez's trainer. Let me know some, because I can't really think of any. I really can't. That aggressive, come forward fighter attitude. I'm not sure. I really can't think of anyone that comes to mind in heavyweight division.